Hi, I'm Linz Dickson. I'm on your campus ministry team here at Loyola University. And we're reaching out each week with something that's on our heart and mind. And this week, I'm thinking about self-care. It has been pretty overwhelming to incorporate all of these new routines and this new information over the last couple weeks. And now that I've got a schedule, I've realized that it's very digital. And I think from talking to some of the students I know, you're feeling some similar things. There are a lot of demands from professors. We've got I've got Zoom meetings, you've got Zoom classes. You've got to incorporate and balance the demands of living at home with your parents, with doing schoolwork. I've got small kids here and I've got work too. So self-care is more important than ever. And now that you've got a routine you're gonna be with for some time, I think it's great to think about what you're doing. And I've been trying to come up with a routine for myself, and I wanted to share some of my ideas with you today. So we come at Loyola from a really rich spiritual tradition that offers a lot right now. St. Ignatius developed a lot of his spirituality in times of contemplation and solitude. So it's really relevant. And I want to share the idea of that you try a practice of the daily examen if you haven't already. I've been doing it and it's been really helpful for me. So some of the reasons I think the examen is so useful is that it's very simple. It has a number of really clear steps, which we'll be providing on our social media accounts. And lastly, it incorporates some of the really basic principles of Ignatian spirituality that are so useful. And some of those things are the ideas of acknowledging your emotions. So I've always loved that St. Ignatius taught that God is speaking to us through our emotions. And so by paying attention to them, we can figure out ways to move through them in really constructive and helpful ways. And then the other idea is like thinking about joy. So when we reflect on our day and we figure out where we're finding joy, we can cultivate that and put practices into place in our day that are going to cultivate that joy. When I think about my joy, I find joy in art, and I always have. So I've made a point of doing an art journal in the mornings, and that's been a really grounding way for me to find like a peaceful touchstone to start my day. So I encourage you to think about what's brought you joy over time and how might you really cultivate that right now. And the last thing about the examen that I have found useful is the idea that it gives me a space to just acknowledge and trust in God. So if the last step of the examen is to set an intention for tomorrow, I think about what am I doing tomorrow? And I take full control over the things that I can, and then I trust God to walk with me and to care for me in the things that I can't control. And that's been another really useful thing for me. So I hope the daily examen can be something as useful for you as you move forward into the coming weeks. We'll have resources, like I said, for the examen on our website. There are additional resources for self-care on the Counseling Center and on the Loyola webpage as well, on the Loyola Campusman webpage as well. I encourage you to think about how you're reaching out, as that can also be a really useful way to care for yourself while you're caring for your community. And I encourage you to share. So we'll have a story where you can share what you're doing so that hopefully your ideas can help spark something for your other Loyola community members. I'll be thinking about all of you and praying for you in the coming days. And feel free to keep in touch, and we look forward to talking to you soon.